Hey guys, just
Hello.
wanted to send you a video this time around. We haven't done a video, I don't think, on an update letter in a long time. But we just wanted to talk to you about our most recent and our final vision trip to Boulder before we make the move there here in December, and just tell you about the time that we had up there.
Yeah.
We made the 12-hour drive from Dallas up to Boulder, and sounds kind of bad, but it was great because it was just us, and so we had 24 hours in the car together total round trip, and it was good for us to have the time away to pray and to think and to process. The past 14 months here in this program have been amazing, as we have kind of, like I have said this before, we've been able to kind of build the plane of what Boulder Church will be in the hangar, whereas most church planners and missionaries kind of have to figure that out once they get on the ground. We've had this season really just to build it in the hangar, and then to do some deep work. The past 14 months we've I've said this before, Chelsea and I both graduated from Bible college and went straight into ministry, running fast for 8 years, having kids and just following after Jesus hard. And so this is the first time in our life where we've kind of been able to take the pastor hat off and just have people pour into us since Bible college. And so that's been really good for our marriage and just for us emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We do feel just very healthy as we move in to what's going to be a completely different season of our life as we move to Boulder to plant a church. And we definitely experienced that. I think when we went to Boulder, it's a very dark place. It's a beautiful place. And if you know anything about Boulder, if you've read the stuff that I've written or heard me talk about it, it's an incredibly beautiful place, filled with beautiful people. And yet underneath that beauty is a brokenness, that we just believe that Jesus, with his good news, can bring redemption and restoration to, as disciples are made and as churches are planted. This weekend, a couple things I want to share that we were praying for that God answered. We were asking for confirmation, for the Lord to confirm which exact neighborhood he wanted us to be a part of, where like our focus group was going to be, where the people, the grocery stores that we were going to go to, the coffee shops that we would visit, all those places that we want to just have regular routines of seeing the same people over and over again, the streets that we would prayer walk, the people that we're going to see walking their dog every day. We wanted, like, Lord, confirm in our hearts which area this is going to be. And we believe that he did. And maybe we'll share that in the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we can. Do you want to share it now?
Sure.
Yeah. So like the South Boulder area. So if you pull up a map, like Google Maps, and look at Boulder, you'll see. It'll actually tell you like Table Mesa, Martin Acres, that kind of South Boulder areas where we feel like the Lord just stirring up our affection for the people that are there, and the families that are there. The other thing that we were praying for, not only confirmation but affirmation, just that, Lord, just affirm this calling. You've called us there, you've led us there, we've put in so much work over the past 2 years. Just affirm this calling in our life. We need just a resolve and a confidence as we move into this, and so he did that as well. The peace that we had as we met with local pastors, as we attended a church plant that was there on Sunday morning there that had been there for 5 years. He affirmed in our hearts, this is where the Lord's calling us. And through some other circumstances and situations that maybe we'll share at a later date, there were some tough things that we went through over the weekend, and it really questioned our motives, questioned us through our calling, and it was good, because what I walked away from all that is outside of the beauty of this place, the mountains, and just like, this is where God's calling us and all of that. Nobody's coming to Boulder. A lot of people have given up on this city. A lot of people don't want to invest any more money into this city because church plants just fail. Some of the statistics that I keep hearing that are not hyperbolic. I know the SBC specifically they've attempted over 100 church plants in 30 years, and only 2 of them have been successful. In the past 130 years of the history of Boulder, only 4 church plants are still there that are now like churches. And so it's a hard place. The enemy has a lot of territory there, and we definitely felt that. But all that to say this, I walked away from this weekend moved with compassion for these people that are lost. And without Jesus, they're going to die and go to a real place called hell. And he just stirred up our emotion and our compassion for the people that are there, to see them have their eyes open and their ears open as they hear the gospel, as they are discipled into the kingdom of Jesus. And so we're really excited about that. I don't want to keep this, I think we're at 5 minutes, so I don't want to keep this video going. I can talk, you guys know I can talk forever. But just a few things that I wanted to ask in this video is number one, is just will you continue to pray? Yeah. I think we say that, and especially if you've been a Christian for any amount of time or been at church any amount of time, you always hear like, hey, please pray for us. But I think now more than ever, I mean that. One of the things that we did Friday night when we were, that first Friday night when we were in Boulder, we went up to kind of an overlook area, and we're praying over this city and just asking the Lord to do big things. And I think we stirred up something in that city supernaturally, or like whatever, because it was just, we felt this just like this visceral weight the rest of the week. That's just interesting, because I don't know that I've ever lived in a place that there's just this weightiness of the city. And so just be praying for us, like pray over Chelsea and Stewart and Emerson and Olivia and Cora, and of course Boulder Church and the people that were meeting there. I do want to share a story with you. There's a family there that found us. I think they're big Village fans, and they Googled the Village Church Boulder, and our profile popped up, and so they reached out to us and got on a Zoom call with us, and just were like, hey, we've been here for 16 years, and we have just been praying for a church that's going to come and preach the gospel and teach the Bible. And so it was really cool. So we got to meet them and spend some time with them, be in their home and pray over them and pray over the city with them. And so just be praying for us. The next thing I want to say is this, and many of you who are seeing this video and who read our newsletters every week, you're doing that because you've partnered with us financially. And let me just, again, I say this every time, but thank you. Like legitimately, thank you. I don't know if it's because churches as pastors, we're scared to talk about giving, and it's a touchy subject, right? Like I remember when I first went into ministry, the pastors would tell me, man, Stuart, the two things you don't want to mess with are people's kids and people's money. And it becomes this like thing. And I think often, the church has neglected to teach on things, and it's been, we've lacked to disciple our people in these areas. But as I read the New Testament, as I read through Scripture, it was always God's people funding God's mission. We would not be in Texas. We would not, I think I texted a couple of you guys when I was driving up to Boulder and had all my thoughts. I was like, I wouldn't even be able to make this trip if it wasn't for people in North Carolina and South Carolina and all over this country that believed in us, that believed in the mission of God, and wanted to invest in our family and invest in Boulder Church. And so I would just ask you, this is where it gets tricky, because our heart and my heart has always been, I think I've shared this with many of you as I met with you and as I asked you to partner with us financially, my heart and our heart as shepherds and as pastors is to be broken and poured out for people, to give our lives, to spend and be spent for people. And yet we are in a season where we find that we're asking people to be broken and poured out for us, and for people to spend for us. And so I do want to ask you if there's any way, like just let me give you some real numbers. We're at about 50% before we get to Boulder in December. So right now, as we're recording this, it's the end of September. We're gonna have to double our budget just to be able to live there for the first year. And so our goal is to double what we've raised to get to Texas by December. And then while we're in Boulder in 2024, continue to fundraise for when we launch the church in 2025. And so I would just like to ask you, this isn't, hey, you need to do this, but this is me just saying, hey, will you pray about this? Will you maybe talk to your spouse or talk to your family and say, hey, this is what we committed and partnered with the Sharps for them to get to Boulder. Could we give any more? Is the Lord pressing on us to give any more? And the answer for that, for some of you, may be no. But for some of you, it may be maybe. And so that's just what we're asking you to consider. And then the final thing is just, man, be praying that the Lord would just continue to bring people our way. we of course, as church planners, like our primary goal is to get there and to meet lost people and to make disciples who then make disciples who make disciples. But Christians make disciples. And so we do need Christians to be a part of our core team and our launch team. And listen, if you can move to Boulder, it's a huge ask. I'm telling you, we're having to double our budget just for what it takes to live in a wealthy suburb of Dallas, to be able to live in Boulder. So it's a huge ask. But this is what you can do. You can pray. Yeah. There are people like the family I just mentioned that are in Boulder who maybe are Christians, or maybe they're just, they've just been away from church, or they've been away from the Lord, and it's going to be Boulder Church that comes in and reignites something in their heart as the Spirit draws them to be a part of this local church. And so those are the kind of things that I wanted to share with you in this video, just kind of where we're at. I guess where we're going, we're finishing out the program. As October comes, we're gonna work hard the next few weeks and days and months before we launch out of here to raise that money and do a lot more partnership development. But then also, like, we're figuring out schooling for our kids when we get to Boulder. We're figuring out where we're gonna live in December, what house that the Lord's gonna allow us to rent, and all of these different things. So just there's a whole plethora of things that are kind of on our plate right now. It seems like I have all these projects that are almost finished, and they're all kind of looming over me, and I'm just trying, like, Lord, help me get all of these spinning plates to stop spinning, and so that we can do what the Lord's called us to do, which is to love people and to love God and to make disciples. And so we love you guys. Chelsea, I know I've been talking for 11 minutes straight. Classic. So
classic. Yeah, I know. We just want to continue and just thank you, from my heart. And I'm just so humbled to know that we do have people out there who are praying for us, who are supporting us financially and emotionally, and and we just come here and just say thank you and just continue to pray. I know personally, it's going up there and seeing the city of Boulder, as we were praying over it and just worshiping the Lord through it, I was just reminded of, like, our calling and how the Lord does have plans for us and a purpose for us and our family. And we just couldn't do it without you guys. And so, just continue to, like, I know we keep saying pray, but we seriously need your all's prayer for our kids. We have a lot of big decisions that we need to make, and we just want to make the right ones. I just keep thinking of the idea of, like, just one day at a time, one, moment at a time, and just bringing Jesus into those moments when we need to make decisions and allowing him to just make it clear for us. But we love you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of you guys in the near future. And you come visit us.
Yeah, we may be seeing you. I know. We'd love for you to come and visit us in Colorado, or one of the things that I was thinking about this morning, and that I was thinking about throughout this whole trip, is that you see those statistics, and the Spirit just kept reminding me, Stuart, we walk by faith and not by sight. Statistics are sight walking, but we walk by faith and not by sight. And so we have been given a task of faith, a task that all the odds could be against us, and yet we're going to take steps of faith. And we believe that the Lord honors it. That the passage that Chelsea and I that kept coming to mind was that Hebrews 11, the hall of faith. By faith Abraham, by faith Jacob, by faith Isaac, by faith Rahab, by faith all these people that walked by faith. Yeah. And it's easy to look at people and say, man, they have great faith. I want faith like them. But what I find interesting about that passage, and even as you get into Hebrews 12, after all of these, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, Hebrews 12:1 starts off, but look to Jesus. Mm-hmm. Run your race. Those men are great. Be inspired by those men. Aspire to be like those men. But we look unto Jesus, who's the author and finisher of our faith. And so let me even challenge you. I don't know where it is that you need to walk by faith. I don't even know if you've cut off this video yet. This is a long video.
If you're still here, you're awesome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But seriously, like, we as believers, I know for me, I never want to get to a place in my life where every decision I make is a sight decision. But I want to make decisions that are based on faith. Whether it's a decision if it's an issue in our marriage, where I'm like, man, this doesn't make sense. I don't know why she's acting this way. I don't know why I'm acting this way, but I'm going to act by faith and I'm going to obey God's word. My kids, my job, my finances, my time, my treasure, my talents, all of those things. Yeah. And so I love you. Listen, my heart, like I said, my heart is to give to you. My heart is to shepherd people and to teach them the Bible. And that's what we hope to do in Boulder. And so thank you for praying for us. Thank you for partnering with us, for giving to us, for giving to Boulder Church and to the mission that God has called all of our lives to be a part of, that he's called you to be a part of. Because if you're watching this, you are a part of it. You are a ministry partner of Boulder Church in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah. And so we thank you. We love you and we thank you. Any final words?
No, just we love you guys. And yeah, we just thank you. And like I said, if you made it this far,
yeah,
you are legit.
Last thing I have for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye.